Hello guys, what's up? My name is Hollow, and today this is gonna be a little awkward. I accidentally muted myself for the entirety of this recording, so everything that goes on in the background, I am just going to be rewatching my video and talking over it because I don't have the audio anymore because I messed up. So, I'm just gonna sort of walk through it. I don't remember exactly how this went. I recorded this earlier today, but I don't remember everything. So let me sort of explain what we're doing. So because it is Black History Month, I've been doing like my Black characters. However, this is episode 30, and every 10 episodes we do sort of like the ones where we go through and delete a bunch of people. So I'm doing that today rather than the normal like moving on, just doing the next person in line sort of thing. So at this point, I'm trying to figure out where I was. So I was going through and I was like, I think I remember doing this person. I think I remember looking at this person, that sort of thing. But we're about to get started and just jump in. And I think the person we jump in on are the Strouds right there in the middle. Yep, the Strouds. So basically, what I was talking about is that like I use them in a story. So they were connected to my Moss Collier family, who I explained everything in the Moss Collier video, which I'll put up in the cards. But I didn't fully get involved with them, and like there's gonna be this whole section where I'm going through and trying to like look through my others, like the all my sims that were made by other people, because this sim is not my sim. Vincent De Lorenzo, he's not my sim. In fact, I can't remember whose sim he is. I think it's RL Store, but I'm not 100% on that. Don't quote me. So you see me, I was like trying to go through everything, but I didn't have him in my gallery for whatever reason. Like I could have sworn I saved him, and then I had like a million Aaliyah Holtz for some reason. And I was like, why? I don't get it. But yeah, Vincent De Lorenzo, for whatever reason, like I know I've saved him before, but he just was not showing up in my gallery. So I don't know if I accidentally deleted him at some point or what, but he's just not there. But I think he's made by RL Store. I'm not 100% sure, but he's not my sim. So that was one of the reasons I wanted to get rid of the household, is because he's not my sim. So like, why would I have him? The other one was like the like when I get into it, I'll show you. I was looking at Vladlena and I was looking at Vlad, and I didn't like the way they looked. Like I think Vlad looks a lot better than he usually does, but I worked on it like a Ugly to Beauty when I originally redid Vlad. So I didn't change any of his features. I just like dragged his face. And so he doesn't look great. He looked better, but not great. So I think if I was going to do it, I'd just redo it and do it totally different. So I decided to delete the family because it's just like, I don't like the way they look. And it's like, if I was ever going to, like, well, I like their part in the story, if I was ever going to redo the story, I'd redo them. So I decided to just go ahead and get rid of them. So you see me just sort of looking at their faces right now, just being like, oh God, not really what I want. But yeah, I do end up getting rid of these guys. It's so weird, like having to watch back my own video to talk over it, because like I know there were points I was making that I'm sure I'm missing now, and it's really weird. But yeah, we go ahead and get rid of them. And then we move into Flora, Merryweather, and Fawn. So Flora, Merryweather, and Fawn, I think I mentioned them in another video, because like this is the point where I realized I think I have actually gone through this part before, because I remember talking about these guys in an earlier video. Essentially, I used to make a lot of Sims for Claire Chavon all the time because I love her, absolutely love her. So all my Sims I used to make before I did YouTube, I would tag with Claire Chavon's tags. So all of them were made for her, that sort of thing. And when she was doing her Disney Princess series, I made these Sims for her Sleeping Beauty series, and they were supposed to be like the three fairies for Sleeping Beauty. So I was going through and I was looking at them. I'm like, while I like their stories, I'm not really into them as characters. Like I just didn't really like the way they looked. I wasn't super happy with them. So I started with Flora, and I was like thinking about her, and I was like, like she's okay. She's like kind of cute, but I'm not super into her. And I was like, I like her story because she's one of my LGBTQ plus Sims, but I just didn't want to keep her. I was just like, if I want to do that story, I can make a new Sim. I just don't really feel connected to her. So I went ahead and got rid of Flora. And then we pull up Merryweather, and Merryweather I liked. Like I like the way she looks in her picture. I think she looks very cute and everything. And I love her because she's short and she's small and she's a little chubby and she's really cute, right? But when I actually like pulled her up and looked at her, I was like, I just don't feel it. Like I'm just not feeling it. I was like, I can always make a new small baby to be obsessed with. Like, but I'm not obsessed with her. So I don't really want to keep her. That was sort of the way it was. So I ended up getting rid of her as well. It looks like my game froze there for a second. But yeah, she's so small. I absolutely love it. But yeah, I decided to get rid of her because it's just like when I looked at her, I wasn't really that into it, you know? Like she was okay, but she wasn't quite what I was looking for. So I went ahead and got rid of her as well. And the only one I end up keeping is Fawn because I will open him up and look at him. But I do actually really like Fawn, so we end up keeping him. This is so weird because like, I'm getting ahead of myself and like we're about to do it in the video, but I'm getting ahead of myself because I have nothing else to say about this. It's really weird. But yeah, so we get rid of Merryweather and now we're gonna go to Fawn and we're gonna look at him. I don't know why I'm just like zooming around the page looking at a whole bunch of stuff. Just pick Fawn. Thank you. Okay. But yeah, I do really like Fawn. I love the way he looks here. Unfortunately, he does lose his skin tone. I think he kept his skin details. I don't remember. But he does lose his skin tone, so I had to go in and like try to figure that out because he looks strange without the skin tone. Like he doesn't look bad or anything; it just looks strange. You know, that's not what he's supposed to look like. But yeah, I do really like the way he looks, and so I wanted to keep him as well. So it looks like he did lose his skin details actually. But I still like the way he looks without them. So I think it'd be easy enough to get him some new ones and stuff. So I really like him, and I do like his look. Like I mean, the story doesn't really make sense outside of the context of setting up the story for Claire Chabon. So I would have to recreate his story and figure out why he has all these freaking scars. But, you know, it's just something to figure out. But yeah, I still really like him. I think he looks really cute. So I wanted to keep him. So Fawn gets to stay. Who do we do next? Oh, Prince Philip. So at this point, I was thinking about doing my own Disney challenge at one point, and so I made a couple princes, like, because I was making them, like, both for Claire Chabon in hopes that she would use my princess, but also, like, if I ever want to do it. So I had, Prince Florian, Prince Savine, and Prince, I just forgot his name, Philip, Prince Philip. So, those three, I was looking at them, and I was thinking about keeping them, but I decided I don't want to keep them around. If I'm going to do the Disney Princess Challenge again, I'll just do it myself, you know? And like, if people are interested in these Sims, they're still up on my gallery so that people can get them. They're just not going to be in my personal gallery. So I don't have to worry about them cluttering my space anymore. So I went ahead and got rid of them. And then who is next? Next, we talk about Sage. So for Sage, I wanted to show you her original version, but I was having issues. I was updating my laptop at the same time that I was playing here. So I was updating Sims on my laptop. So my Sims had to be online on my laptop in order for me to update it. So I couldn't be online on my computer where I was recording this. So I couldn't access the gallery. So I couldn't show you the original version of Sage. But the original version of Sage is, she was a no CC version. She's on my gallery. You can go find her. And in that version, she's not alt at all. She's just an average person. She wears a lot of stuff from the Cats and Dogs pack because that's sort of like, she's a friend of the animals and all that stuff. So, yeah. So when I remade her for the CC version, I did her very alt. I used a lot of black, a lot of mesh, a lot of like fishnets, like big black boots, all that stuff. And I thought it was a lot of fun, but like I didn't know if I wanted to keep her and do that again because I don't fully understand the alt style, like because like I don't know, and I don't know if it feels cheap to do that, you know, like when I don't understand it and I'm just like, oh, I'm just gonna throw together a sim and just like I just put a whole bunch of black on her. Does that make her alt? Like I don't know. It's just like I don't know if that was like cheap or rude or anything, so I didn't really do it. But I love the way she looks. I loved playing with her in the alt style, so I think it could be fun to do it again. So, I don't know. I ended up keeping her, but I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do. Because I do think she's really cute and everything, but I don't know. We'll go back and look at it again. Because I do really like Sage, so I did decide to keep her. But yeah, I think her face is really cool. And I love that hair. The hair is by Blawberry Pancakes. They're pretty cool. I don't actually know if they're still, like, I don't think they make hair anymore. They just make a lot of accessories now. Like, in order to find that, you have to go back to, like, their old Tumblr page to get that hair. But, Yeah. And then we move into Darius. So Darius is one of my Sims. He's like, so the thing I was talking about with Darius was he's one of the few Sims where I didn't match his skin detail to his actual face underneath. I just sort of chose a skin detail that I really liked because I really love this his skin detail. It's a This Is Us skin detail. I think it's called the Raphael skin. But it's very much like that is his face. His face is the skin detail. Because if you remove the skin detail, he looks different. Like he doesn't look bad or anything, he just looks different. Like he doesn't have the same eyelids, his lip shape is a little bit different. So he just like it's just a different sim, you know? So I was debating on whether I should keep him or not because like it's part of my style that I want people to be able to download my Sims. And even if you download my Sims without, and you don't have my CC, I want you to still feel like you got the same Sim. Like even if they don't have all the stuff, you still got like the face. And with him, you don't really get that. So I was debating whether or not to keep him, but I really wanted to just because like I played him for a little while because he was actually in one of my eco lifestyle games that I played. And I'll talk about him as well because like his partner, his who ends up being his wife, she is who's next on the list. I'll open her up and we'll show you as well. Her name's Chandra, but I got attached to both of them because I played them, so I don't want to get rid of him. So I was like debating that during this part, and I was talking about all of that, and I was like, oh, I don't know, I don't want to get rid of him. Like I still really love him, you know, all that, and then I pull up Chandra, and like when I decided that I wanted to keep Chandra, I decided I wanted to keep him as well. So that was sort of the thing. But I think I was looking for Chandra right now. I was like I got lost or something. What was I doing? I don't even. Oh, I know what I was doing at this part. I was counting because I was trying to figure out when I was going to be doing Darius. Because like I was trying to figure out if I was going to be doing him during Black History Month, like if he would come up during that time. So I was counting all my Black households to see if I would get him done in Black History Month. And no, I would not. But I figured that out. But I was like, that's fine because if I was going to do him, I'd want to do him with Chandra since they're together in my mind, you know. So this is when I pull up Chandra and I'm like, I still like Chandra. Like she's definitely like I still really like the way she looks. And again, she's one of my Sims where it's like I don't do a lot of like specifically choosing like someone's race, but when I do, I only have a couple of them, and Chandra is one of those where she is specifically Indian. So like I wanted to keep her, you know, wanted to keep that representation. So, but also I really liked playing her. She was fun to play. She was like this cool kid, and she hung out with all the guys. Like she didn't have any female friends really. I think like she had like female acquaintances, but like she was one of the girls who just like hung out with guys all the time. Like they were like her best friends were all guys, and they were fun. But yeah, I decided to keep both of them. And then the Johnson family. This is a family I made for Nifty Knitting, because when Nifty Knitting came out, and, you know, like it was all about knitting and stuff, and I'd never tried it, so I was like, oh, I want to try it. I'm so excited for it, and I wanted to play with like with some elders because you know this is one of the packs that was supposed to be targeted a little bit more towards elders, and I never play with elders, never. So I was like, you know what, it's fine. I'll make a family that's two elders taking care of their grandchild, right? So that was the thing for them, and like I still really liked them. I decided to keep them because like I do like them and I would like to do their story eventually because like the story would basically revolve around the granddaughter because obviously her grandparents are elders. Like there's a possibility they're going to pass away relatively soon into the save. Like I have no idea how much time they have because like I have a thing on MCC where it randomizes their age when you start playing. So it randomizes their age, so they might be like brand new elders, they might be older elders. We don't really know. So it's sort of a luck of the draw. And I really liked her, and so the idea was that she would be sort of the main thing, and like the idea is that her grandparents would teach her the things they liked. So they would teach her to knit, and then her grandfather was a painter, so he would teach her to paint and that sort of thing, and she would be sort of this artistic kid and grow up with her grandparents, and then like when they die, what happens to her, you know? That was sort of the idea of the story. But I was just going through looking at her because I was like, I still really like her. I think she's really cute, and like she would be the main one, so she's the one that's really important, you know. And then like when I decided to keep her, I sort of pull up the next family that was connected to my not cottage living, sorry, to my Nifty Knitting playthrough, because I made two families for it. I made these guys, and then I made the Burges. And the Burges are, I'm going to pull them up in just a second, but the Burges are a lesbian couple and their son and their three dogs, right? And so, because all of them live in Brindleton Bay, and so they live around all the animals and stuff. And the idea is that the little girl is supposed to become like best friends with their son. And of course, there's like some idea of like maybe they'll grow up and become a thing, you know, maybe they'll get together when they're older. But I just was sort of gonna let the game play how it wanted and sort of figure out what happened and just let it like do its own thing. By the way, I think she's so gorgeous. She was just a random sim I got. Like, I didn't actually make her face very much. She was just like one of the random sims I got when I randomized, and she was so gorgeous. I barely did anything to edit her. I loved her so much. But yeah, anyways, so this is the Borges family, and I really like them. So I decided to keep both of them, and like maybe I'll do a Nifty Knitting playthrough at some point, because I still haven't played with Nifty Knitting very much. I haven't done very much knitting at all. So yeah, but yeah, I decided to keep both of those families. So let's see who's next. Next up are the Madranos. Okay, so the Madranos were my family that I used for a Super Sim challenge. I started playing the Super Sim challenge for myself, but I didn't start it with like a young adult like most people do. I started with the parents, who are Emilio and Yasmin. And I started with them, and they were already married and everything. So it starts with them having a baby and then raising the perfect baby, you know. So they go through toddlerhood, they have perfect toddler skills. They go through childhood, they have all the child skills, all the child aspirations, all that stuff. Then she becomes a teen, and then she starts taking on normal skills, you know, and normal aspirations and all that stuff. So that was what I was working at. And Maria was my Super Sim. So she was my sim that I was working on. She's got a lot of skills. I don't remember exactly which ones, but I really loved her, and I loved her whole family, and they were just like, they were so much fun to play. But my thing was, I don't know if I wanted to keep the household, because I wouldn't, like, if I was going to do the Super Sim challenge again, I wouldn't just jump back into playing Maria from where she is. I would restart the whole thing. So, like, I would start the same way I did, where I started with parents, and then they would have a baby, and then the baby would, like, I would go through the whole life cycle. I wouldn't just jump back into Maria where she is now and like keep working on her. So it was sort of a thing where I was like, I don't know if I want to keep them, because like the reason I keep them right now is for nostalgia. Like, I keep them because I miss the family, you know. So it's like, would I actually play them later? Like, I don't know. But like, I do end up deciding to keep them, at least for now. Like, I might change my mind later, but for now I'm gonna keep them. And like, I could always put them into a story and just have them be like background characters. Like, I don't think I'd ever make them the main story again. Like, if I was gonna do Super Sim Challenge again, I might use the Madranos as parents again. But like, I wouldn't have Maria and Francesco in it. Probably not. Maybe. I mean, I could, because I could do it and then have like a baby, then have like a new baby, and then it's like maybe Maria was starting the Super Sim Challenge, but she was just like, I'm sick of this, I don't want to do it anymore. And so she passes the mantle on to her youngest sibling. But I don't know, we could do that. But it might feel weird, because they did actually have another kid in my playthrough, and I don't have a saved version of that like playthrough where I have that daughter. They had a second daughter. I don't have her in this. I don't have her saved anywhere, so that kind of makes me a little sad. But I don't know. I decided to keep them, but I was like conflicted about it. And then after the Madranos, we go into all of her friends, like all of Maria's friends, because I saved a bunch of the families to like keep her friends around, so that I could like mess around with her friends and like see like who looks good together and stuff like that. So all those households that I'm sort of like passing over are all members of her, like all of her different friends. But the thing I came into here was like, aside from two households, all the kids are just like kids that are already in the game. So here we have Franco. Franco is not in the game when you start the game. There's no Franco Caliente in the game. Franco was an MCC born player. So I do end up bringing him in, and Franco is actually Maria's boyfriend. But yeah, he is Katrina and Don Lothario's kid. But yeah, he's like he was really cool, and like I had him in, and he was her boyfriend and everything. But then I was just like explaining the whole family situation here, because like Obviously, this isn't the way the family starts in the book, but it doesn't really matter because they don't matter. But Tanner was like her little brother's best friend. So Tanner was Francesco's best friend. But so I was like debating on whether to keep them or not. But I end up like pulling them up, and I look at them, and I'm just like, I don't think I do. Well, actually, I don't think I pull them up. I think I just leave it right here where I'm looking at them through here, and I'm like, I don't really want to keep them, you know. So I do end up like deleting them because like I don't really like Franco. Franco, I liked him as her boyfriend. I don't like him as like a sim. They just looking at his face and stuff. I'm just not super into it. But he was like he was like, I grew attached to him through my story. You know, I didn't grow attached to him because he was a nice looking sim or he was an interesting sim. I grew attached to him because of the role he played in Maria's story. But since Maria's story doesn't exist anymore, there's no need for Franco. So I got rid of him. And then we moved to the Beta family, where I have Nitin and his two younger siblings, whose name I cannot remember. I think it's Kalpana, and I don't remember the little brother's name. But yeah, Nitin was like her best friend. Nitin was one of Maria's best friends. So he was like her, and like he was, I was into Neeson. I don't know why. He just like when he grew up, because like he was the scrawniest little kid, and then when he came to my house as a teen, and I was like getting ready to MCC him, he walked through the door, and I was just like, "Who the heck is that?" Because that boy bulked up. Like he grew up so buff, and I was like, "What the hell? You were like the scrawniest, tiny little child, and this is how you walk up into my house?" Like, excuse me. But yeah, I got like this that whole thing just like imprinted on me, and I was like, I love Newton now. Like screw Franco, I love Newton. So yeah, I was debating on whether to make Maria and Newton a thing instead of Maria and Franco. So that was sort of where I ended the series, was like debating on that. But yeah, and then Kalpana and the little brother whose name I cannot remember were both friends with Francesco. But yeah, the reason I'm aging them up here is because I was thinking, like, I don't need them for my story anymore, but like, I like The Sims. So I was thinking about keeping like Nitin and Kalpana and like maybe, what's his name? Amar? Is it Amar? Yeah, okay, Amar. I was thinking about keeping all of them as like, Sims in my game because I liked how they looked, but then like I pulled up Amar and I was like, not really. Don't really like how his face came out. And then I was looking at Kalpana and I was like, Kalpana's all right. Like she's not amazing, but she's all right. Like I could keep her. And then Nitin, like he's not actually that cute. I was just like into him for whatever reason. But like when I look at his face, I'm like, he's not really that good looking. So I don't know why I got so obsessed with him. But yeah, so ultimately I decided to delete them. A little bit of time skip because there was like some weirdness I was doing where I was thinking about like saving them. So I saved like Neaton and Kalpana for a little bit, but I decided to get rid of the whole family ultimately. But I deleted that a little bit. But here, that was just like, that was me like playing around with them. And I was thinking of like who to choose. That was the name of the household because I was deciding whether she should end up with Neaton or Franco. And so I had a household so that I could test like which babies, like what their babies would look like. But I didn't need that, so I got rid of it. And then this is where I was talking about before, where I was debating about keeping these families because I love these characters, but they're already in game when you start the game. Like when you start the game, Billy Jane exists. So like there's no point in me keeping this family that has Billy Jane because I'm not going to replace the Jane family that starts there. Same with the Spencer Kim Lewis family. Like I'm not going to replace them with this new version. Like there's an Olivia in the game already. So like it's just like, so even though these characters were cute and everything, they were all like in-game characters that I could get at any time. So it's like I didn't want to keep them. So I just went through and deleted all of them, all her different friends. Like got a Nani and Evie and what's her name? Olive Tinker, all of them. So yeah, I was just talking about all of them and decided to delete them. But yeah, there they go. All right, so next up are the Thorsons. The Thorsons are one of my families, one of my few families. I don't really have a lot of families that I make. I do a lot of like just individual Sims. So like I pulled them up, like they weren't like amazing or anything, but I liked them enough. And like since I don't have that many families, I decided to keep them because it's just like why would I get rid of them, you know? Like I need more families because like the goal of Gallery Sweep is to clean up my gallery so that once I'm done going through my whole gallery, I can eventually make my own save world. Now, I don't know if that's something I'm going to be making available to you guys, because that would take like a lot of work. I'd have to put together all the links for all my CC, because I can't just give you my CC file. I'd have to like find all the links so that you could properly go and like appreciate the stuff from the artist. So that's just like a lot of work I don't really want to do. But yeah, I do eventually want to make my own save world at one point. So I want to have families available that I can just drop in. So, yeah, those were one of the things. And I was just sort of checking them out. I was looking at Gil because, like, I wanted to see what she looked like when she was older, because I wasn't sure if I still checked people's faces when they were younger. Like, because, like, that's something I do now where, like, whenever I have a kid or whenever I make a kid, I age them up to see how they look as an adult and make sure I like their adult face before I do anything with their child face. So, I was just making sure that that I was okay with her face at that point. But yeah, I liked her, and then so I decided to keep them. And then next is the Zhang family. It's the same sort of thing where it's like they were just a fun family I made, and like no real story or anything. It was just like a cool little family I made, and I decided to keep them as well, just so like I'd have another family to put in. But yeah, like I didn't really have much to say about them. I didn't really talk about them or anything because like they didn't have a story or anything like that. It was just like I just made them, and I don't know. I tried to make them look cool, I guess. That was sort of my idea. I wanted them to be like a cool looking family. And then next, I think it's one more family. No, oh no. So it's Aldo, Luke, and Lester. So with Aldo, Luke, and Lester, Lester we already got rid of. I mean, no, it's not Lester. Sorry, Luke we already got rid of. He showed up earlier in Gallery Sweep. I think he was in episode 20, either episode 10 or episode 20. We got rid of him. But yeah, and then right now I'm looking for a different version because there's another version of this household where Lester looks different, and I like that version of Lester better. So that's the version I want to work off. So I'm looking for that family right now. I've seen it a couple times going past it now that I know what I'm looking for. But there is like another family, so I'm looking for that right now. But and you can see I also have a version of Aldo there. So yeah, I was just like I was going through and I was trying to figure out what I wanted to keep because I knew I didn't want to keep that version. But yeah, so you can see there that has the version of Lester that I actually wanted. So I decided to delete the old version. And this one I was debating on whether to separate Lester out into his own household because like I don't need Luke anymore and I already have the other version of Aldo that's a little bit lower. So I was debating whether to take Lester out and make his own household, but I figured I'd just leave it and just delete them when I got around to it because like I have that version of Aldo right there, so I don't need him in the other household. But yeah, so I just decided to keep that version and just not worry about it. So next up are the Diablos. This was this is a family that I just did for fun. They are like succubi, well succubi and incubus. But yeah, why I did it, I can't tell you. Can't tell you. I just did it. Why? I don't know. Don't ask me. Don't ask me questions like that. I have no idea. So I decided to make them. I do end up keeping them because it's just like it's a fun idea. Like I mean, like they were just fun to make. It's just fun to play around with and stuff. So I kept them for that. It's just, like I don't have a lot of just like fun households that I make because like I've done it. I did it before where I made a lot of really stupid, silly households, but then I deleted them all. And like it's just like why get rid of them? Like so what if they're stupid and they're kind of like dumb? They're fun. So why not keep them? So yeah, I decided to keep these guys. But yeah, right here I was just going through and I was checking their faces and seeing how they looked without their skin details to see like if I actually like them without their skin details and stuff. And like they're okay. Like there's definitely some editing I would do, but I do really like them. So I decided to keep all of them. And then I mentioned the next guy, Eros Diablo. I make a humanized version of him because I wanted to play with him as a vampire. So I made a like humanized version of him that's technically vampirized, I guess. But I'll show you him in a second as well. So he's right there. So I decided to keep both of them. But yeah. And then that's pretty much it for the Diablos. So next up is the Model Mates household. Model Mates I talked about in the episode 2 weeks ago where I was doing Zuri and Emmett. And like this was just a household. I explained the whole story in the video, but the idea was like there was a bunch of models living with 2 photographers and there was going to be a bunch of drama. But I decided like there were some characters I didn't want anymore, like Raphael and Charlotte. Both of them I wanted to get rid of. So I didn't really want the household anymore. I was like, if I'm gonna make a story with them, I'll make a new household. It's no big deal. And then next up is this household. The only reason I added this one was to make this kid. And he's not my sim. I'll show you whose sim he is in just a second, but he's not originally my sim. I put him into a world that I was setting up a world that I don't even have anymore. Yeah, so there's his original one. He's Trevor Kimball by somebody I couldn't see the name. It's really small in the screen I'm looking at, so I can't read it from there. But yeah, you'll see it in the video. But yeah, he's not my sim, so I didn't want to keep it. Because like if I'm going to if I'm going to use that sim in a household again, I'll just grab from their sim and you know. So yeah, Miracle I decided to keep because like I was looking at her and I was like, I'm pretty sure she's like my only black mermaid. I mean, because like I have Desiree here as well, but Desiree is mixed, so I was like, Miracle is my only black mermaid, so I'm gonna go ahead and keep her. So I didn't even open her, but I knew I wanted to keep her. And then the randos. So this is actually a way that I make a lot of my sims. I make these rando households where I just go through and randomize sims until I get a face I like. And once I get a face I like, I add a new sim, randomize until I get a face I like. Add a new sim, randomize until I get a face I like. And I just fill a household with a bunch of sims that I like, right? And the idea was that that's what I use to make a lot of my sims. I just start with these random sims that I like and I sort of build something off of it. So I was saying for the first girl, I like the way she looks. For this guy, like he's not like super like attractive or anything, but he's like a good base for making a normal guy, you know, like where you're not making a guy who's like super hot or anything. He's just a regular guy. He has a good face for that. So I was like, I'm gonna keep him. This girl I wasn't as into. Like she's all right. She's kind of cute, but like, I mean, it's a pretty standard face. Like you get it a lot in Sims. So I was just like, I don't really want her, so I'm gonna get rid of her. The next girl, I think I get rid of her as well. I don't really remember. Yeah, we get rid of her. Yeah, she was one of the ones that like I had started working on this house. Like a couple of the Sims that were in this household, you saw it wasn't a full 8 Sim household. That's because I went through, and a couple of Sims have already been moved out and made into actual households. So I don't remember which ones. Don't ask me. But yeah, so this was one that I had started on, but I never got very far, and I decided to delete her because I wasn't really feeling her. And then Shingo. Shingo is different from the other guys. He's a random sim, but he is actually from one of my save files. He's from one of my previous 100 Baby Challenge playthroughs because I was starting the 100 Baby Challenge and he had ended up being one of the dads. But I just like I'll show you who the matriarch was in my 100 Baby Challenge that I was playing. Her name's Tiara Hidalgo. She's like way down at the bottom with her dads. But yeah, so Tiara was my matriarch for that, and so I had her playing, and like she met Shingo. I think he was like the second or third of her baby daddies, and I don't know why I was so into him. Like he's not super attractive or anything, but like when he popped up in my game, I was like, I love this dude. So he just popped up in his white shirt and it's like super sleek straight hair. It's like bright yellow and like bright bronzy yellow, and I was just like, I love this guy. I don't know why. I just love this dude. So yeah, I put him in the game because like he's like nostalgic for me. That's why I keep him. Like he's not super attractive or anything, but again, he's got sort of that like everyman sort of face. You can like just make him into a normal person. But yeah, so I decided to save this then save them again because I got rid of a couple. So I saved this version, and I use them like so I can add in like if I ever have any more random families like this that are scattered throughout, I can add those guys into that household. So yeah, that was sort of the idea going on there. Then next up is Gwen. We talked about Gwen in a previous episode, one of the other ones where we were deleting people, I think. I'm not gonna get rid of Gwen because I really like Gwen. She's like a important character to me because like she has like this whole backstory. But yeah, then this was the bro household who's in game. They're in from Get to Work. I mean not Get to Work. Sorry, Get Together. they show up in there, and this is me reworking their household. But I decided to get rid of it because I was like, if I'm gonna redo my world, I'll just remake them again with new CC and everything. So I'll just do it when I remake the world. So yeah, I decided to get rid of them. Not gonna keep them. Sorry. And then next up is Caleb, who was like Gwen's boyfriend, basically in their playthrough. He was like a paparazzi guy who became her boyfriend. But yeah, I decided to get rid of him as well. Like, I look at him, but I decide like he doesn't look as good without his skin details. Like, I like the way he looked with his skin details, but without them, he doesn't, like, I'm not as into it. I just felt like there was some weirdness with his face that I didn't know how to fix. Like, it was those lines, like, right around his lips. I didn't know how to deal with those. Like, I didn't know what to fix those with. So, I just decided to get rid of him. Because, like, I wasn't super attached to him. Like, yeah, he was a part of my story, and he was dating, the lead character of it, but I just wasn't really into it. Don't ask me why I did that with his face. Don't ask me. I don't know. But yeah, I decided to get rid of him as well. Because he's just not that important. And next up is the household is literally called That Girl Is Gorgeous, because like the guy we've all seen. He's just like a randomized sim. Like when you start a new game, he's one of those random sims that pops up, right? But I have womanized him many a time. But when I womanized it this time, I thought she was so gorgeous. I like pulled her up and I was like, oh my god, this girl is so beautiful. And so I was like super into her, and I was like, I need to keep her. Like, I don't know when I'm gonna get to her, but at some point I'm gonna CC this girl up and she's gonna look amazing. So I wanted to keep her. But yeah, like I went through and I was just like, I pulled her up specifically to look at it, and I was like, yeah, I still think she's gorgeous. I still think she's so pretty. Like, there's a little bit I would change, like with her, the way her face looks. God, what am I doing? Ignore me. I don't know what I was doing there, but like there's a little bit I would change to like make her face stick out a little bit more the way I want, like to sort of straighten it out a little bit so it's not quite the same angle. But ultimately I love her. I absolutely love her. So I was like, I'm gonna keep her. So what I did instead was I added her to that household we literally just made, the cute randos one. So I added her to that, so that way I can keep all of them. I can keep her in that rather than having to keep two households of randos, you know? So after doing that and coming in and deleting this family, I realized that I was going on for really long, because I've been going on for almost 40 minutes at this point. So I was looking at my time on my OBS, and I was like seeing how long I've been recording, and I was like, oh my god, I've been recording for like 40 minutes. I should probably stop now. So yeah, I was just going through, and I think I was just like generalizing, like talking about what families we did, and I was like, oh, we deleted a bunch of people, and we looked at a bunch of people, yada yada yada, just doing like a summary of what we just did. But yeah, that was pretty much it. I was just going through looking at stuff, but we are all done checking families for today. We are all done creating and deleting families, so we're good with that. So yeah, I had a lot of fun with this one. I recorded, like you can tell I did, because I recorded for way too long on this one. And I'm sorry that I don't have the original sound. I'm so sorry that I messed that up and did that somehow. But yeah, somehow I just left myself muted, so you have to deal with this weird voiceover instead. But I think it still gets the vibe of what I was saying, so I think we're okay. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you have a happy Black History Month. Take your time, learn some more about history, and enjoy like seeing all the new content that comes out from Black creators this month. And yeah, we will be back to working on some of my Black Sims next week, and I will see you then. Thanks for watching. Bye.